Hello everyone. Let's discuss about bias when it comes to random selection. We are going to make 15 random selections from the list of items rock, paper and scissors by invoking the choice function call. Let's convert the return value of the choice function into a series and capture that using a variable as. Recall that it is very easy for us to count the number of occurrences of unique values within S by invoking value underscore counts function on as. Value underscore counts function call is going to return a new series which has the values as the counts ordered based on descending order, and the corresponding index will be the unique values from the series as. I'm capturing the return value of value underscore counts function call into a variable called VC. Then I'm displaying VC using print function call. I'm also visualizing VC by producing bar plot. I can do that by typing vc.plot.bar open parenthesis close parenthesis. Observe that from the series display output, we are getting the values as the counts 7, 5 and 3 ordered based on descending order. The corresponding index are paper, rock and scissors. If you take a look at the bar plot, your bars are always going to be ordered based on descending order. In this execution of the choice function call, we are getting paper bar first, rock bar next, and scissors bar last. Let me execute this cell again. Observe that now we are getting rock bar first, paper bar next, and scissors bar last. Although the bars are ordered always based on descending order, wouldn't it be nice if we can fix the order of the bars based on these labels, which are rock, paper, and scissors? Let's go through a couple of options for that. Option number one would be to use the sort underscore index function on the series VC. On any series, sort underscore index function call is going to order the values within the series based on alphabetic ordering of the index. What am I doing with the return value of sort underscore index function call? I'm capturing that back into the same variable VC. That's because sort underscore index function call is going to return a new series. Let me go ahead and execute this cell. Observe that on the x-axis we are getting the order of the bars as paper first, rock next and scissors last. This is going to be the constant order for the bar plot that is coming out of this input cell of code. That's because when you order paper, rock and scissors strings in an alphabetic manner, the order is always going to be paper first, rock next and scissors last. Let me execute this cell again. Observe that the counts corresponding to the bars changed, but the bar ordering itself is still the same as paper, rock and scissors. The second option for us would be to use the lookup operation to specify a certain ordering for the bars that we would like to have. The best ordering that you can do here would be rock, paper and scissors, which is the typical ordering that everyone refers to. Let's look at the lookup operation here. I'm specifying VC open square bracket close square bracket. Within that, I can mention the complex expression as another list, which is going to be within another pair of square brackets. I'm going to use this as a list because I have commas within those square bracket pairs. I'm specifically mentioning a certain ordering of the column index within this list. I'm mentioning rock first, paper next, and scissors last. Let me capture the return value of the lookup operation back into the variable VC. Let's execute this cell. Observe that we are getting rock bar first, paper bar next, and scissors bar last. If I execute this cell one more time, the bar counts are going to change, but the locations of the bars will still be rock first, paper second, and scissors last. Let's talk about whether this random selection is really fair or not. The best way for us to be able to answer this question is to select a really large sample out of this list of items. Last version of this code just selected 15 selections randomly. Let's select 30 million items randomly from this list of items. Let me execute this cell. Observe that we are getting almost equal sized bars. If you take a look at the corresponding counts, you are able to see the same observation there as well. It feels like the random selection is fair here. Let's talk about how we can control the probability of this selection. If we have a really large sample and we do not control the probability of the selection, you're going to get almost equal height bars. How do you control the probability? You're going to pass a list of probability values as argument to the parameter p. Let's say that 10% of the times we want rock, 20% of the times we want paper, and 70% of the times we want scissors. We are going to mention the corresponding probabilities as the values between 0 and 1. Let me execute this cell over here. Observe that 70% of the time we are getting scissors, and 20% of the time we are getting paper, and 10% of the time we are getting rock. We are able to see this really nice probability distribution because we are making a really large sample of selection, which is 30 million selections. If you were to lower this selection count down to say 3000, you might not see the exact same distribution between the three bars over here. The probability is going to vary slightly. If we lower down to 300, you might see a biased output here. Observe that rock bar is very close to paper bar, even though we mentioned the probability for rock here as 10% and the probability for paper as 20%. I'll wrap up this video here by going through one final example. Let's say that we want to use the choice function to make a selection of integer values. We don't have to always specify a list of values as the first argument. Instead, we could just specify a single integer, which is going to enable the choice function to make a selection between the values of 0 and 6. This particular sample size, which is going to be the argument phi for the parameter size. Let's capture the return value of the choice function and convert it into a series. Let me execute this cell. Observe that we are getting the values correspondingly as the values randomly selected between 0 and 6. This is a shortcut instead of mentioning the list of items over here. This is going to be equivalent to saying 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what this particular argument as the individual integer value is going to indicate here. I'll wrap up this video here. In the next video, we are going to talk about randomization and bugs.